Hello and welcome back to Freestyle here at the Old Andrews Speedway for some Mayhem. This is part 2 of Freestyle, and at the end of it, you can vote for which truck you believe won, as well as download the track and any mods you so choose if you have BeamNG Drive. Anyway, same rules as the last video, and I will see you with our first truck of part 2. Our first truck up for part 2 of this freestyle is Forward Fred. Lost to Poderman in the semi-finals. Even though it lost its lid, I figured I'd put it back on just because, frankly, how the hood looks. Anyway, off they go, and losing their hood immediately. Well, it was put on there rather jangly anyway. Off they go, up into the air. Some rather big air there for the jump. Up and over the vans. Landing back down onto the racing lane. Turning themselves around, headed for the train obstacle. Off they go, clipping the train. Landing on the side and saving it. And if you can notice, I have reset all the cars just so weird geometry doesn't mess anything up. Some more big air off one of those small ramps. Going for the big backflip ramp it seems. Up they go. Some big air from Forward Fred in a rather hard landing. And saves it. Off Forward Fred goes, going for one of the small ramps again. Pretty good airtime off that ramp. Going for the buses. Oh, clears the buses. And pops it into a wheelie right afterwards. Going for the train obstacle once again. Hitting the cars, hitting the train. And crushing one of the cars with his back tire. Looks like Forward Fred here is gonna give us some donuts. Some donuts from Forward Fred seem pretty good. Going for this bus over here. Up he goes. Landing right back down and getting caught on the van. Gets himself unstuck. Drives himself back off. Gets stuck once again. Looks like he wanted to take the train obstacle in reverse, but couldn't quite seem to decide. Goes back, goes down the racing lane, up the vans. Right back down he goes. Continuing to go down the racing lane. Up one of the racing ramps he goes, over the finish line, bouncing right back up and going across the vans, clearing them all. Looks like Forward Fred is going to hit his last obstacle here for his run. Up and across the train, and time is up for Forward Fred. So anything else you see now is purely for show. Looks like he's going to go for this center ramp here. Up he goes. Some amazing airtime. And he lands it right back down. Once again, time is up, and that stunt does not count. And it seems that will be the end of the run here for Forward Fred. Pretty good run for part 2. Let's go on to our next truck. Up next we have WhatABot. Raced against Diesel Bluthers, I think it was, in round 1, and then lost in round 2, or did it race Ocean Bluthers? I don't remember, but here it is. The body is slightly transparent, as you can see. Going up the center ramp to start off, landing over the finish line, and going for this short bus over here. Up he goes. Right back down, and doesn't quite get a slap wheelie out of it. Going for the train obstacle. Over the train obstacle, rear wheels clipping the train, lands it on the front, and doesn't quite get a slap wheelie out of it again. We're going for the backflip ramp this time. Up he goes, and lands it. Pretty good backflip there from WhatABot. Going across the main obstacle here. Get himself turned around. Looks like he's going for the racing lane. Up he goes, some big air from WhatABot. Lands it back down for a nice little bounce and goes for the shipping container. A slap wheelie once again here from WhatABot. Looks like he's going to go for this train obstacle once again. Up he goes, conquering the train and landing it back down onto the other side. Going for the buses now. Across the buses he goes. Turning himself around, rolls it over. Almost. Quite. Almost. Rolling it over, and he's on his roof. He cannot save himself there. And that will be the end of the run for WhatABot. Up next we have our racing winner, Poderman. And now, even though I said he's going to the World Finals, he is. Not Spider-Man, even though that truck is here, or in the game anyway, but Poderman. So you will see this truck at the World Finals when that comes around. Going across the racing lane he goes, getting some nice air, clears the finish line, and is going for the train obstacle. Up he goes, clears the train, lands it right back down onto the other side. Looks like he's going to hit it again. Up he goes, clears the train once again, and pops it into a slap wheelie. Stands it up on one wheel and manages to bring it back down. Up he goes, some more big air from the backside of the racing ramp. Pops another wheelie out of it, goes for the backflip ramp. There he goes, some big air, and lands it down. Getting himself turned around, going for one of the smaller ramps here. Up he goes. Some big air from that ramp, and gets a little bit of a bounce off of it. Going towards the bus obstacle here. Up he goes. Lands it back down for a nice little bounce once again. Going for this train obstacle a third time in his run. Oh, never mind. Looks like he's going to go for a donut, but ends up hitting the car. Going for the shipping container this time. Up he goes. Lands it down and pops it into yet another slap wheelie. Driving it on one wheel. Puts it back on all four. So for this ramp here that's next to the vans. Lands on top of one of the vans. And pops another wheelie off of it. Trying to get into a donut this time. Doesn't quite do it. Flips it around. Can he save it? And Poderman will land it right back down. Popping a wheelie as he comes out of there. Going for the backside of the racing ramp. Up he goes, some big air once again. Landing it right back down. 5 seconds left. Looks like this backflip is going to be his last obstacle here today. Up he goes, some big air, and lands it down hard. And rolls it over. And with time up, that will be the end of the run here for Poderman. Up next we have Marky Jester, or the Bounty Hunter, however you choose to call it. The truck name seems to be the Bounty Hunter, but the file refers to it as Marky Jester. So, yeah, whichever name you choose to call it, I'll refer to it as both during the form quiz. Off they go, looking for their first obstacle. Here it is. Over the vans. Landing on the top of the bus, just absolutely flattening it. Going for the train obstacle here. Up and across he goes, landing it right back down. Up the backside of the racing ramp, sticking his nose into the sky. Doesn't quite get a wheelie out of it, but goes for the backflip ramp. Up he goes. Amazing backflip there. And will land it down on all four wheels. Going for one of the small ramps on this main obstacle. Up he goes. Lands it down on the front wheels. Goes for the line of buses here. Turning himself around for the train obstacle once again. Up he goes. Hitting the train. And popping a slap wheelie out of it. Going for the backside of this racing ramp. Up he goes, nose to the sky once again, landing down hard on the rear, but nothing seems to have broken off yet. Going for the big ramp in the middle. Up he goes, some big air. Lands it right back down, and is gonna go for the train. Up he goes over the train. And lands it down smoothly onto the other side. He himself turned around here, going for the shipping container. Up he goes, nose to the sky once again. 30 seconds left on the clock here for the bounty hunter. Giving us some donuts here for his last few seconds. Now going for this ramp on the side here. Up he goes. Onto the vans. Almost went into reverse to the bus obstacle. Rolls it. Flips it. Can he save it? Yes, he does. And with time now expired, the bounty hunter will pretty much do whatever he wants. Again, all for show. And it will not count to his final score. Turning himself around, going for some of the ramps here on the main obstacle. Up and across, some pretty big air. Tumbles it around once again, hits the shipping container, and the body panels just explode off the truck. And onto his side, it seems his run is over. Pretty good run, but will any of our other remaining trucks do better? Let's find out. Up next we have PC Master Race. Lost to the Emoji Movie during racing. Kind of embarrassing, I suppose, but this truck does have a diesel engine in it. So let's see what PC Master Race can do here in Freestyle. Going for the buses as his first obstacle. Up he goes. Lands on the shipping container. Rolls it over and saves it. Turning himself around, going for the train. Up he goes. Right back down onto the other side. Going for the backflip ramp, it looks like. Hits it hard, loses his hood, but manages to stay on all four of his wheels. Hits the ramp again. Turns himself around as he flips. Goes up and over the vans. Lands it back onto the other side. Looks like he's trying to do a donut, but at a little too much speed and almost rolled it over. Going for the train obstacle once again. Up he goes. Hits the train. Pops his rear tire. Going for the bus. and the car grabs his tire. Both of the rear tires are popped now. That's going to be a bit difficult. We'll see how that goes for him. He rolls it over, and can he save it? Looks like PC Master Race has been able to save himself from rolling over. With 2 flat tires, we'll have to see how well he can maneuver around the track now. Up he goes across the vans. Could have popped a wheelie there, but the tires are flat. Pretty much just driving on his rims with the rubber flinging around. Up he goes, one of the smaller ramps. Landing it down. Goes into a slap wheelie. Manages to hold on to the slap wheelie while driving on the rims. Hits the train. Rolls it over once again. Breaks one of his rear wheels. The rear left wheel is just gone now. Trying to turn himself around. Going for the train once again. Doesn't have a lot of speed or maneuverability. Stands on top of one of the box vans, rolls it over, and tumbles off the obstacle right back onto his wheels. Goes for the bus obstacle once again, gets grabbed by one of the cars. Time seems to be up for PC Master Race as he gets stuck on the bus, and it looks like his run is over. I'd say that was a pretty good run considering his rear wheels just popped. Oh. I was gonna say we leave him there, but it seems he can get out now. Up next, we have Spookest of Giraffes, and PC Master Race was removed from the track. So, there should be still as many obstacles for Spookest of Giraffes. And yes, that is Claptrap on the roof. Let's see if we can knock him off. Maybe run him over. We'll see. Off goes Spookest of Giraffes. Going for the bus obstacles. Up he goes. Some pretty good air as it goes off. Lands it right back down. Turning himself around. Going for the train obstacle. Up he goes. Hits the train. Lands it down hard on one of the cars. And keeps on going. Going for the backflip ramp it seems. Up he goes. Nice backflip, landing it on the hood. Landing it on the rear wheels. And we'll keep on going. Going for the big backflip ramp this time it seems. Up he goes, some big air. And lands it down hard on the rear suspension. Off he goes once again, going for the small ramp here. Up he goes, breaks some of his front wheels, I don't know which one. Ooh, lands down hard once again. Seems both rear wheels are broken, rolls one of his front ones. Does he have steering at all? Ooh, gets grabbed by the bus. Now it seems at least one of his wheels, I think that front right wheel is able to steer still. With all of his other wheels broken, steering is going to be pretty much impossible for Spookest of Giraffes here. Yeah, that front left wheel and the rear wheels are not spinning. Yeah, only one wheel is steering here for Spookest of Giraffes. Let's see if he can do anything here. Looks like he's trying to get himself turned around. Not having much luck with it. Oh, looks like he is managing to turn himself around. It's only 30 seconds left on the clock. What can he do? Turns himself around, hits the train obstacle. Off he goes, off to the bus, and gets himself stuck. Let's see if he can get himself off this obstacle here. Not quite, doesn't look like it. Breaks off one of the front wheels, and it looks like his engine is shut off. That will be the end of the run here for Spookest of Giraffes. 2 more trucks to go, so let's move on to our next 2 competitors. Here we have Grave Hunter. It's on the Gravedigger body, of course, as you can see, although the hood's missing. Lost the hood in racing when he was racing forward Fred, and lost the forward Fred. Off he goes, going up one of the racing ramps, landing down, and Spookest of Giraffes is stuck on that bus still, so we'll see how our trucks do with that. Up the train obstacle, clearing the train itself. Getting himself turned around. Going for the van obstacles. Up he goes, some big air from Grave Hunter. He lands it back down. Off he goes. Up one of the small ramps, going across into the racing lane, over to the bus obstacles. Up he goes, almost wheelies across the buses. Pops a wheelie as he leaves the buses, though. Gets himself turned around, going for the train once again. Up he goes, hits the train, but lands it back down on the other side and pops a slap wheelie almost. Tumbling around as he goes. That was a pretty cool maneuver right there. Up the backside of the racing ramp and pops a slap wheelie. Getting himself turned around, not going for the backflip ramp it seems. Off he goes again, this time for the buses once again. Up he goes, some big air off those buses. Lands it back down hard on the rear, but we'll keep on going. Going for the train once again, bounces off one of the cars. Loses his alignment there. Going for the shipping container, up he goes. Lands it down and gets a slap wheelie out of it. Going for the backside of this racing ramp it seems, and does a front flip. Bounces it off as he lands, and will save it. And pops yet another wheelie right out of that. That was a pretty good combo right there. Was it good enough to get him the win? Well, he's got 5 seconds left on the clock. Let's see what else he can do. Over the vans, up he goes, and lands it back down. Time is up for Grave Hunter, and as normal, everything else you see is just for show. As he goes up the train, drives along the side of the train, gets stuck. Rolls off of the train, lands it down and goes after it once again. Pops some of the doors off, does a backflip off the train. Fortunately his time's up, so I don't think that will count, and rolls it onto his side. And it seems that will be the end of the run here for Grave Hunter. We have one more truck to go. And here he is. We're going to finish off today with Maximum Disappointment. Is that what you're going to feel at the end of this? I don't know. I sure hope you don't feel maximum disappointment after the end of this. Anyway, let's go with our last truck of today. Off he goes, hitting the center ramp for his first obstacle of the day. Landing back down. Going for the train. Up he goes, some big air. Off he goes, going for the buses it seems. Up he goes, some pretty good airtime from Maximum Disappointment. Turning himself around, almost rolls it over. I think he almost rolled over in racing because of his suspension. And he goes up the racing lane and will land it back down. Going for the ramp here on the side of these vans. Lands it sideways, lands on top of the van, lands on the car, and will keep on going. Turning himself around. Up the train obstacle again. hits the train, lands on top of one of the cars, and pops his wheel. Off he goes, up the buses again. Pops a little bit of a wheelie as he comes down. Turns himself around. That popped wheel almost rolls him over. And in fact, it does roll him over. Time to use the save to get himself back up onto his wheels. And there he goes. Back onto his wheels. That body is ready to come off, it looks like, as he goes up this center ramp. Up he goes. Lands it down on his side. Rolls around for a bit. And will get stuck onto his side. That will be the end of the run for Maximum Disappointment, as well as all of the other trucks here we had. On to our encore. Alright, here as always the Beam Monsters monster truck for the encore. The website where I got all of these mods from, except the train, that came from the BeamNG website. But the track, all the trucks, including the meme pack, all came from BeamMonsters.com. If you wish to download any of those mods, if you don't have them already. As always, vote in the description for which truck you believe should win Freestyle and move on to the World Finals. And I will see you at the next event.